Hey, what's going on, everybody? Manny back again here. Welcome to DFS Zone. I'm going to be going over today's 10 gamer in the association, but before I get started, I appreciate you guys drop a like. If you're new here, you've never seen any of my videos, I know there's a number of people watching the videos, they're not really subscribing. Make sure you subscribe down below. It helps me out a lot. It gets me out there, out through the whole social media, all through YouTube, as far as a recommended site, for giving out this information that I give out for free to help out other DFS players. So make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. Also, don't forget to put on your post notifications, a little bell icon. Make sure you turn that on so this way when I upload a video, you get access to that right away. All right. With that being said, today is Wednesday. It's December the 4th, 2019. And again, a 10 gamer on this channel as well. I do offer a Patreon page. I have a Patreon page that I offer to my subscribers or to my viewers. If you're looking for more additional, more exclusive content, more information regarding how I go about breaking down the slate, getting my players, building player pool and all that, I do have some tiers available to you guys. Go down to my Patreon page, which of course is patreon.com/DFSZone. I do have a link in the description of this video down below. Make sure you go and check it out. I have the player pool available to you. I have also a spreadsheet layout on GPP plays for the day as well as cash plays. It's just another way for me to be able to help others out there be able to get the information they need so they can narrow down their decisions as far as their plays are concerned. And I also have a quick research sheet that I comprise and put together in a spreadsheet format, gets updated as well. And there you can basically get a whole grasp of all the actual statistics that I look at and make my decisions every single day. So that is also available to you guys, as well as a tier. And of course, there's an all access tier for NBA there as well, where you'll be able to get all three of these things that I'm talking about, everything that I have to offer for one simple small price. So again, check it out down at my Patreon page. Other than that, also, I do offer that as a giveaway, a player pool or an actual quick search sheet, whatever you choose. If you want the GPP cash line play, the winner of that giveaway, which I announce every Wednesday, will have an opportunity to get that every day of the week for 1 week. And that's also a good way to also try it out and see how you do, and as well as if the information is helpful to you. And if it is, more than likely you will be willing to come in and become a patron and help me out on my patreon.com site. So with that's basically it. So that's so the only thing you have to do for that giveaway, sorry about that, for the giveaway, the only thing you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be a subscriber to the channel. You're automatically in, and I'll pull somebody out on Monday morning, and on Monday's video that individual will be announced. Okay, let's get to it. So today at point guard, man, we're going to get right to this 10-game slate. It's a big slate after a few nice ones, 6 and 7 games. Last night was a real bummer for me. I lost a little bit of money, maybe about $15, $20. Not too bad of a night, but, man, it was just terrible. Just a couple guys just really didn't pan out. And that's how it is in DFS. You're going to have some nights where things just do not work. And the beauty of it is, hey, like I always say, the grind continues. Let's just get back at it, and let's give it another go today. So at point guard at the top, we got Luka Doncic, who played last night. I was on him. He did fairly well. He's going to be always someone you got to consider and put in play. I'm not going to actually put him on here as a core, but he is definitely someone that I'm going to be gauging in my player pool. So he may more than likely be in the player pool. I think there's just no reason why anybody would not put him. Trae Young, definitely in a good spot here against Brooklyn at 10,003. You need 51, 52 to me value. It is a big number, but he is someone you can consider. I'm going to come down. Damian Lillard at home. I tell you, I only like to play Damian Lillard when he is at home, because he just seems to get up for it. For whatever reason, he just plays better at home, and he always has been a pretty good player at home, other than in the playoffs. But during the course of the year, right now, he's been trending lately down a little bit. 9,100, you need 45 to me value. On DK, he's priced very well, $1,000 cheaper. 8,100 is a great price for Damian Lillard playing at home, where he gets fired up, and he's playing a lot better at home than he does play on the road. The statistics and the numbers prove it. On top of that, as you can see, the numbers down 30, 35 over the last two, but he has had two 40-point games, so he's close to at least his average of 45. He is usually pretty good for 40, 45. I don't see no reason why he cannot hit 40, 45 today. in this matchup here today, especially that he is at home, he is definitely capable of getting you 50 fantasy points or better. The beauty about it is that he still gets tons of shots. His usage is there, his minutes are there. He's going to play 32 minutes a game. His usage rate is still high at 28-29% thus far for the season. He's still taking 16-17 shots a game from the floor and about 8 to 9 threes on average from three. He's still shooting over 50% at home as opposed to on the road. He is shooting a lot better at home. His numbers at home, 50% field goal percentage, 42% from three compared to 41% on the road from the floor and 30% from three. So that's a big drastic difference. So I expect him to have a nice bounce back game here. He needs it, because he has been playing so bad as of late, but the guy still takes tons of shots. Usage are going to be there, and he's definitely in a favorable matchup against Sacramento. He has played Sacramento twice thus far this year, and he's averaged 49 fantasy points against them. He has also shot 60% from the floor and 42% from three in those two games. Now, granted, a little bit different now. You got Carmelo Anthony on the team. He's taking his share of shots, so he's going to have to share the ball a little bit with Anthony as well as C.J. McCollum. But I still think that he'll get up for this game, bury his shots. As long as his shots go down, if he's going to take 16, 17, 25, 26 shots a game, including threes, it shouldn't be no reason if he can shoot 40 to 45% that he does not meet value and exceeds it. So I do definitely think he's in a great spot. He's going up against Sacramento, 18th in defending point guards, allowing 34.4 fantasy points per game. They did give up 49 to Smart, 37 to Dinwiddie, and of course Lillard put up 43. This was all over the course of the last 5 or 6 meetings for Sacramento. So again, Lillard in play, and I also do like him as a play on Fanduel. So on DK. So on DK, Lillard, we're gonna just pencil him in 8,100. Other options here for you guys, up at the top, like I said, Doncic and Young are guys you got to consider, but I think Doncic will probably be the better play. He has the better upside. Then you come down here, you got Malcolm Brogdon versus OKC. Not the easiest matchup, but again, he should do well there. Then you got guys like Terry Rozier, good GPP play. He's at home going up against Golden State. Price tag is a little up at 7,500. Markelle Fultz has been playing really, really well, getting more than 30 minutes as far as on the floor a game. 5,900, not a bad play. I think Tomas Satoransky at 5,800 at home against Memphis. Good matchup there as well, going up against Memphis. And you got to watch out Kendrick Nunn. No news yet about Jimmy B. They were in overtime in Miami last night, so who knows if because of a back-to-back, they may give Jimmy Butler the night off. If that is the case, then Dunn, Hero, Robinson, all these guys, even Winslow, are all going to get a little bit slight bump, and those guys you could definitely target. Tyus Jones in play here, going up against Chicago. I do like him there as well. Milton is someone to consider. Rondo. There's a couple of guys here at the bottom that you can consider as other options. As shooting guard, we're going to go at the top. D'Angelo Russell may come back and play today. If he plays, it's all a matter of how many minutes he's going to play. If he is coming back, no restrictions, he's going to go gun-ho. You know what you're going to get with D'Angelo Russell. He'll definitely be in play at 8,800. Definitely has 50, 60-point upside, and he's in a favorable matchup against Charlotte. I would love that matchup if there is a thumbs up that he is going to go. Jimmy Butler, again, right now looks like he's playing, but again, like I said, you never know. They may decide later on in the day, so keep your eye on the news. If he happens to sit, then there's going to be some value opening up for Miami. But at the moment, he is playing tonight. I'm not on him on this matchup against Boston, but if he happens to be out, I definitely will look for the value in some of the other guys that I mentioned. Zach LaVine going up against Memphis. Zach, he's the top dog for Chicago. 8,500, decent. That's about where he's at right now. He does have 50-point upside. You can consider him against Memphis. Devontae Graham takes a ton of shots. They love him because he takes a lot of shots. He plays a lot of minutes. This is not a bad matchup for him. I don't like his price tag being 8,300, but he's definitely someone you can consider here, especially at home. Do like Wiggins here. Even though he's not at home, I do like Wiggins a lot here against Dallas. He's definitely an option. Devin Booker, if Rubio is out, he's definitely in play. I'm coming down to Donovan Mitchell because at 8,000, I like these two guys right here, but Donovan Mitchell at home with no Connolly, definitely is a big bump for him. He goes up 2 or 3% with Connolly off the floor. He moves into the point guard spot, which we all know that he loves to play. Then he's going to go and play at home. He just finished having a miserable road trip. He was like I think there was 5 games on the road, and he didn't put up nothing under 40 fantasy points. He didn't even get to 40 fantasy points. So he's been a little bit of a down trend simply because of the road games. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game road trip. Didn't do particularly well. I mean, he played well as far as points from the floor, but not enough peripherals, not enough of anything else as far as fantasy point totals. Had some turnovers. But, I mean, this is a guy that definitely is a 40, 45. He could get you. He's definitely an 8,500 player, something even as high as 8,700 as far as price. So he's definitely, we're getting a little bit of a discount for him today with no Connolly. It is a tough matchup. Again, it's a tough matchup. It's going to be a pace-down game for Utah, which they were one of the better pace-down teams a year ago, but it's a totally different Utah team. So it is definitely a pace-down game for them with LA, because LA is one of the better defending teams in the league. But again, the tons of shots he's going to get, the opportunities are going to be crazy for him. He's also thrives well at home. He is shooting at home. Let's put it this way. Without Connolly, he's up from 30% pretty much. His usage, he's going to get up to about 32, 33%. His home and away splits thus far this year, just like pretty much like Lillard, he shoots pretty well. He plays better at home. 47% field goal percentage as opposed to 41. 37.5 3-point percentage as opposed to 36. He's also averaging 40 fantasy points at home as opposed to on the road, 32, 33. And in the one game against the Lakers this year, he put up a 42 spot in 33 minutes, so he's had a little bit of success. He's still taking 21 shots per game, and he's also still taking 6 or 7 shots a game from 3. And I expect that to be a little bit more higher, just a bit more today, just due to the fact. Now, another guy that you can also think of, remember, with Connolly out, also a bump goes up for Bojan Bogdanovic, so you got to have him as consideration. You got to also consider Rudy Gobert, even though it's a tough matchup for Gobert. He's another guy that is also fairly cheap here today that, you know, you could take a stab on in a 10-game slate like this. Not too many people are going to be on him. I think that he's somewhat of an option too. So, I mean, these guys, again, I think that this is not a bad play having Donovan Mitchell here. They're going up against the Lakers. They are pretty good. They're the 8th in defending shooting guards, but they've been giving up in the last 3 or 4 games 38.2 fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. And Jamal Murray put up 43, Doncic 55, and Jrue Holiday 56, and Morant put up 48 all over the course of the last 5 games, those 4 players. And now they got to go up and deal with Donovan Mitchell in Utah. Tough matchup for Donovan, tough matchup for the Lakers as well. He's going to take a lot of shots. Usage is going to be up. I like Donovan Mitchell here today. And, of course, also he is in play for me at 7,100, which is really, really low for him at home. And this is all due. His price tag is down simply because of the matchup. The Lakers are tough, and they're pricing them. Fanduel and DK are pricing these guys accordingly, depending on the game being a pace-down game. So, again, still a lot of usage, a lot of opportunity. Even if the game is going to be only a few points and it's going to be a 105, 100 game, you got to feel that Donovan Mitchell and guys like Rudy Gobert are going to get their share of opportunities to put up the points they need. And that's more than enough time with that usage rate. So Donovan Mitchell in play. All right, other opportunities, because I have them both. I have Donovan Mitchell for both FanDuel and DraftKings. There are a couple guys, like I said, D'Angelo Russell in play. You know, I do like Andrew Wiggins a bit on FanDuel. Devin Booker is definitely someone in play. You got to also consider at some point, if you want to go cheaper, you could go Evan Fournier, who's been really solid for Orlando going up against Phoenix. I do like Bogdanovic in his game against Portland at 5,700. Garrett Temple is definitely someone to consider for Brooklyn. They got a number of guys there in that 5K range that could be pretty dangerous here tonight. Terrence Ross for Orlando, you know, pretty good at 20 to 25 fantasy points per game. Bumbree in play. Hero will be in play. He wasn't big last night, but if Miami decides to rest Jimmy Butler, he is definitely someone to consider. Those are the guys I'm looking at. Duncan Robinson could be another. And on DK, Russell, Booker, Butler at 7,300 if he plays is pretty darn cheap for him. Middleton, 6,100 on DK. I think that's pretty cheap. And then Satoransky, Jones, and Hero, those guys all come into play as well. At small forward, at the top, man, you got Giannis, you got LeBron James. Now, LeBron James will be in play for me, and I'll definitely love him a lot more if they decide they're going to rest AD. So if AD rests today, right now there's no news on that. Stay on top of the news. If he happens to rest, then LeBron James becomes definitely a viable option here. Jonathan Isaac, 7,800, kind of burned me, last night, the last time he played. Actually last night. And 7,800 is not, he's down 200 or 300 from last night. I think he's also at home. He doesn't play any better at home than he plays on the road. He's actually played better on the road, but not a good game last night. Could be a bounce back game for him. I think he's definitely someone to consider. Kelly Oubre, tough matchup going up against Isaac, and same for Isaac with Oubre. I think Isaac is just a better defender, so I will probably go there and pay $700-800 more. This is a tough. It's always a small forward. It's always tough to make decisions on who you may like. But like I said, Bojan Bogdanovic is definitely someone to consider here. Without no Connolly on the floor, he gets a 24% usage. But his usage goes up to about 24% with Connolly off the floor. So he is someone to consider. Again, Harris is in play. Prince is in play. Winslow, if there's no Jimmy B, he's definitely someone that I would consider. He already is playing over 30 minutes. Did have a good game last night. But I'm going to come down to TJ Warren just for the sake of the video. I mean, a really tough spot in this area here. But TJ Warren, he's going a bit sideways, going a little bit downturn, but again, he is a guy that can definitely get you 40 or better. So he has upside for that price at 5,400. You need 23, you need about 26, 27 fantasy points. And as you can see, he's at least, and he's averaging 26. He's been at 26 or better in 1, 2, 3, 4 out of his last 5 games, 6, 7 out of 8 out of his last 9 games, and he can go even further. He is pretty consistent. Probably in a good spot for you guys who play cash, maybe on my cash line. Check in on that on my Discord, on my Patreon later if you want. Link is in the description down below. And TJ Warren is definitely someone that you could possibly play today for cash, but he has that upside to be a GPP play. Like I said, he's playing. What I like is he's playing still more than enough minutes, 32 minutes plus a game, 21 to 22% on average usage rate. He's been taking 14 to 15 shots a game, still 4 or 5 threes, and he's still shooting over in the last 6 games. He's actually been shooting 58% from the floor, so he's shooting marvelous from the floor as of late. 64% from 3. Don't take a ton of threes, but he's burying them at a 64% rate over the last 6. And of course, he can get you some steals. He has a little bit of defense, can get you some steals. He had played one game against OKC earlier this year. He played 32 minutes and he put up 37 fantasy points, shot 71% from the floor in that game and 50% from 3. So again, TJ Warren is definitely someone you can consider here today. Going up against OKC, the 10th defending small forwards, allowing 38.2 fantasy points per game over the course of the last 4 games. They give up 36 to Drew Holiday, 46 to Ingram, and 43 to Glenn Robinson III over the course of the last 4 games. So TJ Warren in play both here and on DK. Where is Warren? TJ Warren. There you go. Let me just pencil him in there so you guys that play DK, you'll see him there. Then we have other options, man. Obviously, LeBron James, if there's no AD, definitely will like that. Jonathan Isaac, like I mentioned. Bojan Bogdanovic is in play. I do like Harris. I do like Winslow. And down at the bottom, Glenn Robinson could be an option at 4,800. Solomon Hill played 30-somewhat minutes the last game. Everybody was all on Bruno, including myself. I had him in a lot of my lineups, Bruno Caboclo in Memphis. Put Solomon Hill in there, and he's one of those guys. He did it also when he was with the Pelicans. If he shoots well from the floor and from 3, he could be very dangerous, streaky. They'll keep him on the floor. So that's what happened there, and he had a nice game. He can be an option there today, but again, maybe today Bruno Caboclo starts, plays, shoots well, plays well, and they keep him in there. And then, of course, we get buried with Solomon Hill. So that's all on you guys at that point in time. Rodney Hood. There's a couple of guys, but not a whole lot on small forward to choose from. Power forward at the top, you got Davis, you got Sabonis. I do like Sabonis a lot here, 8,800. We'll have some exposure to him. KP didn't play well last night. The game got a little out of hand. He got into foul trouble, let's put it this way, and didn't pan out as well. But at 8,100, it's the same price as Tag. As last night is still in play. He's actually 6,900 on DK, which is pretty cheap. You can definitely take him there. Bam Adebayo in this matchup against Boston should be able to do well. But I'm going to come down, and I've been on this guy by 2 or 3 times already over the last week or so. And Jabari Parker is going up against Brooklyn, is in a good spot again. 7,000, you need 35. He's been trending downward as of late. Last 3 games, 24, 18, and 26. Not pretty. He's averaging 31, but he has 60-point upside. Okay, so he definitely can be a good GPP play in this matchup. But again, just dating back to these three here, this game here was a blowout. This game was a blowout. This was a blowout win for them. This is a blowout loss. And obviously that's the reason why he played only 20 minutes, so he basically wasn't in there. And then this game here, he shot poorly. I mean, he only had 8 points. In this game here, he shot 4 of 15 from the floor and 0 for 4 from 3. So, I mean, if he's shooting his shots and he's going to, well, again, we're looking at a guy here at 7,000. It's getting more than enough minutes in a favorable matchup against Brooklyn. All right. He's still shooting 24%. He still has a 24% usage rate. He's still shooting 14 to 15 shots per game on average, 4 or 5 threes. And, you know, a guy can rebound and he can get you double digits. He could get you a double-double. And he's capable of getting you some blocks and some steals. So defensively, he can get you some additional fantasy points. He's going up against Brooklyn. They are 7th in defending small forwards, but they've been giving up over the last 4 games 35.6 fantasy points per game. They gave up 43 to Tatum, 47 to Brown, 44 to Nance over the course of the last 5 games. All right, that's what I have over the last 5 games. So Jabari Parker, to me, is definitely someone you can consider. Still taking good, more than enough shots. Minutes are there. Usage rate is still there. So he's in play for me. Hopefully tonight's the night that he turns the thing around. He turns it around. Options, like I said, KP in play on DK. KP's in play. I do like KP here, but I'm gonna basically stay with at power forward. I'm gonna stay with the guys that I'm choosing on FanDuel because they're priced fairly well here as well. Where is it? Jabari Parker, 64. He's in play. All right. Other than that, you got KP at 6,900 on DK. Not a bad option. Isaac at 6,800 in a good matchup. Could go Isaac. Rashawn Holmes is another one at 6,700. Aaron Gordon, 5,900 on DK is pretty darn cheap for him as well. And then on the FanDuel side, I do like Sabonis at 8,800. You can go to Isaac if you wish at 81. Bam at 81. KP at 81 is not a bad price as well in a matchup. Jaren Jackson, I mean, if he could stay out of foul trouble, I don't play him a whole lot, but he's been playing well as of late, staying at least out of foul trouble, at least as far as not getting, not fouling out the last few games. I think he's only done it once over the last 3 games. But if he could stay out of foul trouble, he could be dangerous at 7,000 in this matchup here, playing small and maybe possibly a center. Jared Allen against Atlanta is definitely an option. Of course, Rashad Holmes, and I do like Aaron Gordon as well at 6,200 here. So those are some of the guys that I am looking at. Again, follow along on my Patreon page. Go down there and check it out. I will be updating throughout the day all the way up to about 6:35, 6:40. Okay, at center. At center at the top, you got Karl-Anthony Towns. You got Andrew Drummond. I love Jonas Valanciunas. If he's able to go today, even though his price is a little bit up, he's been balling. He has an illness. If he comes back, he's not restricted. I think I will have some exposure to him. I'm going to come to Whiteside here for certain. I do think that Gobert, even though this is a tough matchup, didn't play well the first time around against LA. A lot of people are not going to be on him. Could be a surprise at home. Remember, they don't have no Mike Conley. There's going to be a bump for Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell at the point always finds ways to get Gobert into the game. So for me, I think I will have some exposure to him. But for the sake of this video and be on the safe side, I mean, Hassan Whiteside should be a safe bet at 8,300 here. Now, again, you could pay down at center today if you would like. 8,300, you need 41.42 to me value. He is capable of getting you high 50s, as you can see here. 32 plus in 4 straight games. He's had also 4 straight double-doubles, as you can see here, which is he's a double-doubles machine. He's a rebounding machine, and, of course, he can get you those blocks and steals. He's been playing still more than enough minutes, 27 minutes a game. His usage rate is still at 21%. He's shooting 58% from the floor, so he's done well off the floor. He's averaging 42 fantasy points per game at home, which is pretty nice as opposed to on the road. He's averaging 34 fantasy points, so another player that has been playing well at home, just like his teammate Lillard. So I expect these two to play very well here. He is shooting 84%, and he's been shooting 58%, which I already mentioned. All right. Other than that, they're going up against Sacramento. They're 14th in defending centers. They've been allowing 29.7 fantasy points per game. The last top tier center to play against Sacramento was Joel Embiid, and he put up 57 on them. Other than that, everybody else has been there hasn't been no top tier, and I consider Hassan Whiteside one of the second tier centers in the league, at least right now, compared to the 10,000 range. He is in that 8,000, 9,000 range player, so I would consider him a second tier center. They haven't even faced a second tier center over the last 8 or 9 games, so this is going to be definitely a tough matchup for Sacramento, dealing with Whiteside here, and then knowing that Portland really needs to turn it around, and they have been playing better, but they're going to need to bounce back after yesterday's game. So Portland and Hassan Whiteside in play, and I believe that you can definitely do the same at center here at 7,600. And again, there's other options. You still have 5,100 here. There are some value that may open up. There is some value in the slate, and other than that, if you're not on those Whiteside, like I said, Gobert could be a very surprising play. The reason his price tag is down, just like I said before, in Donovan's, is simply because DK is taking into account that they're playing in a pace down game against the Lakers. But again, these guys should be able to get enough of their share of usage and shots. If they bury them and they can stay competitive in this game, they will be able to smash value. So, and that's just the way I believe. That's my belief on that. So Gobert is definitely someone I'm considering. I do like Valanciunas, and like I said, Bismack Biyombo would be someone that I would consider in that bottom tier as far as 5,500 range centers. All right, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, follow along on Patreon if you want. Come down, take a look, sign up for a tier. All the tiers, everything will be updated throughout the day, all the way up to about 6:30, 6:35, 6:40, the latest. Gives you time to look at it and to be able to make decisions. And that's pretty much it, man. I wish you guys a lot of luck, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.